year 2016 treating you? I hope well. I mean, it's I decided this was going to be my year, and I think I said it the last time on the last show. So I really do think that it is going to be a fabulous year. There's going to be a lot of change this year, as we know. And have you guys checked out this Powerball thing? I mean, can you imagine? Nobody won it. Nobody won the 800 million. Now, on Wednesday, it will be 1 billion point 3. Can you imagine winning 1 billion 3? I mean, I can't even imagine. It probably would scare the heck out of me. Uh, and as we all are always dreaming, you buy a lottery ticket and you're dreaming of what you would do with all that money. Well, I have to tell you a funny story. I've been reading this book. It's called Hitler's Niece. Okay. It's very well written. It's more of a novel, but very, very historical facts in there. One of the reasons why I'm German and I'm enamored with, not enamored, but I'm interested in the phenomena that occurred at that time and why such an evil man really could be elected and could be doing such destruction. But there is a funny anecdote about in this book, and I thought, because of the lottery, I thought I would share this with you because I thought it was hilarious. We never think of Hitler as really as a real person. We really sort of just think of him as the devil or the evil guy who did all of this destruction. But he did have a personal side. And the personal side was such. He was always living, apparently, with a male companion in his younger years. He was not very successful in anything. He did architectural renderings and did little drawings of buildings because he considered himself an artist. But he was always had money problems. So he would buy with his friend, they would buy one ticket in the national lottery. And his friend says that from the moment they bought the lottery ticket, Hitler would go into these tirades of all the things that he would do with the money. He would buy this mansion and they would all live there, and he would have the people to serve him, and he would go into every little detail, and he would just map this out in all. And we know people like that. But here comes the funny part. The minute the lottery was announced and Hitler was not, and his friend were not the winners, he would go into a depression for days on end and ranting and raving and saying it was all rigged. It was all rigged and they were all against him and it was just not fair. Well, I thought that was just absolutely hilarious, because how can anybody who buys a lottery ticket think of themselves as, oh, I'm going to be for sure the winner? I mean, we dream about it, but to think, yeah, you're going to really win this, I don't know. Do they? Give me some feedback for you guys. If you think that that was an anecdote that was somewhat funny, I thought it was. I never thought of a person of history to have that um, kind of relationship with a lottery ticket. I mean, it is a game of chance, right? So, hey, whoever wins this billion, more power to him. I sort of predict it's probably going to be several people. It's probably going to be quite a few people. Everybody is winning a couple of million, and I think that would be just the most fair thing and the best thing. If one person wins this 1.3 billion, I'm just going to, I mean, really, well, maybe I'll go into a depression. I've never done that. So I think that would be kind of a novelty for me. In any event, in the meantime, I really thought, since it's January and now the bills are coming from Christmas, I thought, what a good idea to maybe talk about how we can all save a buck. Well, listen, boys and girls, I am the queen of saving a dollar. Um, I can make out of $1, $5. I can really. I've always been. I'm married to an architect. I've always been self-employed. He's always been self-employed. Employed. You can imagine, money was never. We either had fast or famine. We never, there was never a consistent amount of money that we could say, okay, we have every month, we have this month, and we can work it. There would be either a bonanza that we would have a big contract, and then we would live well, and then then the other months weren't so great. So then I made do. So I learned a lot of ways to save money, and one of the biggest things that I have found, which really irked me, they really upset me, is the cable, TV, and phone bills. Do any of you remember we used to pay $30 for our telephone, and we would have most unlimited calls. I mean, at least in our vicinity where most everybody calls. If there was a long distance call, we had to pay a little extra, and that was it. Now, phone bills, now we bundle things, right? We have television, we have cable, internet, and we have phone. And we're paying $150 for all of that. Now, it's not because the dollar has lost so much in value. It really hasn't. But it's just that these companies have found that all of these extra things, there's a 9/11 charge, and then there's the other tax charge, and then there's this charge. So you have about 25% of your bill is just extra charges that really have nothing to do with what you're getting. And that really, like late charges, I will not pay late charges. I will pay on time, and if I forget that, I will call up and I will say, hey, listen, remove that, otherwise I move my account, because I think late charges are also ridiculous as that. So here's what I found, but I still like all of the services, right? Like, I like to have many channels on my TV, and I like to have internet service, and preferably a 5G, a cable. Um, and I definitely want to have a cell phone. So I set myself a number, what I want to pay. And I was striving to get that, what I wanted for that number. So I said, I wanted 2 cell phones, one for my husband, one for me. I wanted internet service, and I want cable TV. So I said, I will not pay a dime more than $100. And here's how I achieved that. I went to the cable company and I asked them what basic cable cost. Well, in our area here, basic cable is around $25. But if I buy basic cable, then I have to pay for the cable for the internet. I have to pay $40 or $45. So that was $65 already. So I said, no, we're not going to do that. What is the next step where I can get cable service for just $20. So they said, well, if you buy, the next step is $50, and then your cable is only $20. So now I got more services because I got more channels, but I have I have less monthly for the cable and internet because they prorate the internet charge then if you buy a higher cable service. So now I'm paying $70 for that. And I said, okay, now I want to have more channels because I still have only limited. And I found out there's a little device, it's called a Roku device. It looks like this. And they have them now from different companies. Roku just happens to be the oldest one. And listen, I'm not being paid by Roku, okay? I have nothing to do with them. I just find it's a fabulous, fabulous thing. So you buy yourself one of these devices. There's Net something 8, and there are several others. There's also Amazon is selling something like
And
this
there's
now.
Apple TV.
Yeah,
Same
they
thing.
all are selling it now because they found that this works so well. And you only pay for the device. You don't pay a monthly premium. Now, that may change because it's becoming so popular. But at this point, you do not pay for the channels. And you have channels. Roku has the most channels, has about 500 or 600 channels. And that you can, from TED channels to Hulu, Netflix, all the major news channels, RT, which is a very good news channel, very informative. It's a Russian channel that is broadcasted from London and really gives you world news, gives you a much different perspective than NBC and all of those. Then you have movie channels, radio channels, music channels, exercise channels, whatever you want, cooking channels, whatever you want, you have on that. And you do not pay more. You only paid for this because it works over your Wi-Fi. You hook this into your TV, and then this little thing communicates with your Wi-Fi, and we have one in every room. So my husband can watch a movie on Netflix, I can watch a movie on Hulu, or I can watch a movie on YouTube. It also has the big YouTube channels. So it's a fabulous thing.
Did you know that we're on Roku now too?
Oh, isn't that great? Yeah. Oh, fabulous, fabulous. So you have to send me that link of how to get into that. I would love to get into that. And let's say that out loud. Whoever has Roku already, Amnon, would you? Amnon, our producer.
All
Yeah?
you have to do is on Nissan Communications on the page on the left side, there is a link to the Roku app.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's really fabulous.
That's been like that for about a year now.
Oh, I didn't know that. That is so great. Yeah. I have a club here in our area. Anybody listening in the Milford, Pennsylvania area? It's called Club 55 Plus. And we are talking, it's an empowerment club for older adults. If you're 75, like I am, and you want to stay in the loop and be empowered, then come to our club. It's free. We are looking to do all kinds of fun stuff. One thing we do not do, we don't play bingo. We don't go on museum rides and so on. You can do that on your own. No, we are doing things that are empowering us, okay? So if you're in the area, our upcoming meeting is January 14th, next Thursday. And the club has been growing amazingly. We've only had 3 meetings, and we're up to 60 people who are coming. I mean, it was just something that was needed, and and we can do this in other areas. Wherever I can travel to, I can set one of those up. So then the next one is the cell phone. Now I said, I'm not paying for the cell phone all of these extra charges. I was paying $150 just for cell phone for 2 phones. So I went on TrackPhone. TrackPhone has smartphones, and I bought my husband a smartphone, and we fill his card for $99. That is for 1 year. Don't go the monthly basis because that's much more expensive. Buy $99 for 1 year, and you have triple minutes with that. So you have 1,500 minutes that you can use over the year. And if you're not a chatterbox on your cell phone, and you're not continuously on data and messaging, well, that is the most perfect solution. So it costs you $99 for the year, for the entire year.
How
And
much?
you have a cell phone. And believe me, 1,500 minutes is quite a lot. You do have some data, and you have 1,500 messages that you can send, text messages.
How much was the
So
phone?
the phone, this particular phone was $50.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And it works fabulously. But since I'm selling now insurance, and I'm a lot on the phone, obviously, I said, well, what's the next step? So that was not an option for me, because if you're a lot on the phone, the TrackPhone is not really an option. But here's the ticket. Verizon has one now where you have every month you pay. It's also pay by, and it's an LG phone, and it is fantastic. I also paid $50 for this phone. And I pay $45 a month, unlimited everything, except data. Data, I have 2 gigabytes. Now, data, I use very little because most of the time I use Wi-Fi. So whenever I do need data, I try to see that there's a Wi-Fi spot somewhere. And if there isn't, then I use the data because I have 2 gigabytes, which is really quite a lot. But you have unlimited texting and unlimited talk minutes for $45. No extra cost except a small tax, because the government is now cracking down on all internet and on all of that, so that they can collect the tax. But I found that and now I have 3 phones, right? So this one is $99 for the year. My husband has one for $99 a year. And then I have this one for $45 a month. So we were up before with internet and TV for $70. So I pay like $110 for 3 phones, internet, and TV. I think that is a good savings. I don't think you can get that much cheaper unless you live in Manhattan or in a big city or in an area where internet and TV is a lot less. In our area, it is still very expensive, so I pay there on that part a lot more. But that, I found, is a good way for most people to go. And let me tell you, most kids now have a phone. If you use the TrackPhone for the $99 a year, not the monthly one, because even if you pay $10 a month, you do not get triple minutes, and it's still $120 a year, $99 a year for triple minutes, 1,500 minutes, and 1,500 text messages. Pretty good savings, I would say. Okay. So that is a good way to save money on internet and phone and cable.
Now, there's one more thing that a lot of people don't know about. If you want to have a home phone, if you have a home phone and you're paying probably $30-$40 a month for it, from AT&T or from
Yeah.
whoever, you can get a device called UMA, OOMA.
WOMA.
Yeah. UMA is a box that you plug into your internet. And
Okay.
if you have, do you have a landline in the house?
No, I don't, but I
Okay.
have Vonage,
Okay,
which
that's
I pay $9.99 for them.
okay. Well, so that's okay, but with Vonage, I think there's a limit
No,
on minutes.
it's
Okay, so that's
unlimited.
so that's pretty good. But what you do is you can, if you have a wiring around the house of telephone from the old days, you can plug that into your Vonage box or into the UMA, and now you have telephones in every room, just like it used to be. The UMA costs $78 or $75 for the box, and it's a one-time thing. And then you only pay the taxes every month. So it comes like we have one. It comes to $4.70 a month. That's it. That includes long distance, unlimited, everything.
That's fabulous.
So that's a lot of people don't know about it.
No, I didn't know that
Yeah.
either. Very good information. Thank you very much,
Sure.
Amnon.
Sure.
That is real good information. In fact, I wanted to talk to you about what else we can do with our internet, and especially internet, of how, because many areas pay up to $45-$50 for internet service.
Right.
Because
Unfortunately, there's not much you can do unless you have competing providers in your
Yeah.
city or town.
which we
If
don't
there-
have. Yeah.
Right. If there's only one, then you are at their mercy. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of older people really do not need to have 30 megabytes and 50
No.
and all that. There's no need. So
No.
you can go with the minimum, which you can still watch Netflix and you can still do
Yeah.
email and everything. And like if you go with Time Warner, I think it's $14.95 with the lowest
Yeah.
plan. You need to find out from your provider what's their lowest plan.
Right. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Yes. And you're absolutely right. Many people and they try to sell you the HD service and
Right.
also
Right.
and all of that. But if you don't have a television that is set up for HD, you're paying for something that you can't even get.
And as we get older and we wear glasses and all that, the HD doesn't make much difference anyway.
That's right. That's exactly right. So you have to be diligent, and you have to really question things of how much of that are you really using.
Right.
For instance, they're selling in our area here a 5G a cable service for like $10-$15 more. Well, you know what? They're only broadcasting in 3G most of the time. The only thing that I can get with 5G is with my phone, and that doesn't even go over the cable. So
I don't
you
know.
know,
I don't know
why
what.
would I pay another $15 for what?
No, you need to you can always start with the cheap and see if it doesn't serve you, then you can look into something more expensive. But don't
Right.
start from the top and then start cutting back.
Yeah, and
because
just because they tell you so,
right, of
that
course,
does not make it so.
right.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
I can tell you a lot of people, a lot of older folks still have a regular landline at home.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not much into going and surfing and all that. They still get, I mean, through my business that I my real life, I'm an internet
Yeah.
service provider, they still are getting dial-up service
Oh, yeah.
because they can
Yeah.
do email and that's all they care about.
That's right. Right. And
So,
if you only care for that, like perfect point, Amnon. If you only care for that, dial-up is just perfect, and you pay pennies for dial-up.
right, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need to have an expensive cable setup. You
Right,
know.
right.
Yeah. Very, very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I was wondering. I've been seeing some of these um, antennas.
Oh, you're talking about
Uh,
the satellite.
do they work?
Satellite?
Not satellite. That is the biggest crux. The satellite. They will get you in. They lure you in
Right.
with $19 or twenty
Yeah.
dollars a month for the first year,
And then they
and then it goes up to
right.
$100 and $200. I know the guy who works for me here. He was paying $175 for his dish
Satellite, yeah.
that they had
Yep.
installed years ago,
Yep.
and that was still there. And when he lost the house, because he lost his house, because, well, he really stopped paying because the house was less worse than what the mortgage was. So
Uh-huh.
he said, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to let it go. But since he did not take, they don't come and take the equipment. They don't come and pick it up, send somebody on do it. No, you have to do this your own.
Yep.
And then you have to send it in.
Yep.
And since he didn't do that,
They charged
they
them.
charged him $1,000 for the equipment.
So which
people have to know that beforehand.
so which antennas are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about these little that you can buy in Walmart. These antennas, because
For
from what I understand, um, when
for what?
everything went to digital,
Okay, for TV you're talking about.
yeah, for
Yeah.
TV,
Yeah,
do they work?
absolutely. You can, I mean, like in Raleigh here, with an antenna on a TV, no cable at all, you bring in about 37 to 41 stations
Wow,
because they bring them from far. So it all depends where you are.
where you are.
But it works, and actually the picture is better than cable because it's all HD.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to get one of those for my RV. I do have an antenna up on top,
Yep.
but it's not a very strong one, so I'm going to get an additional one for my RV, because
Yeah,
when we are on the
you-
road.
You probably have one that's not for digital. If how long did you have
No,
it?
yeah. No,
You had it for
we
years.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We have a-
that those don't do much. Yeah, you need to get
Yeah.
a new one, a one for digital TV, and
Yeah.
it's
One of those you can just put on the wall. It's a flat screen.
yeah. I mean, they have those that, and if you want to go a little bit better, which is not doesn't cost much, you put it in the attic, and it actually turns, and you can
Really?
rotate it to get the station at the best. In RVs, it's always like that. You're supposed to be able to
Rotated.
rotate them, and yeah, they work great. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Well, all good information. Good information for those people that want to save a couple dollars and not be hostage. I mean, this whole internet thing and the telephones and so on, sometimes it looks like they made us addicted just to these services and to these things. They're like drug pushers, you
Yep,
know,
yep.
just so that they can get more money from us. I mean, There are other things to do with money than paying it out to cable companies and telephone companies and such. Lots other
Yeah,
things.
sometimes it
Lots.
works. Sometimes it works against them, though.
Yeah.
For years and years, we had Verizon,
Yeah.
and it was unlimited data
Yeah.
and 700 minutes. We never went over 2 gigabytes of data between the three
Right.
of us. And never mind the minutes because you don't talk on the cell phone. And
Yeah.
it was $216 a month. But the
Yeah.
business pays for it, so it was fine. Then they said that if you are going to stay on the unlimited, we're going to raise your rate by $20.
Yeah.
Said, okay, it's time to change. So I went into the store and I said, look, guys, that's ridiculous. We don't need that. So tell me what's next. So he's looking at the account. He said, oh, you're using only that much. And then said, oh, you don't need all this. You can change it to have, what was it, 3 gig each phone and unlimited talk and unlimited text, which we did not have unlimited phone and unlimited text. And it's going to be $110.
There you go. See?
And I said, okay, go. After he did it, I said, I don't understand how you guys operate. If you just looked at our account and you say, oh, they don't use much, I would have kept on paying the 216 because the business pays for it.
Yeah.
But as a result of your, oh, we're going to raise it, now you're losing $100
That's
a
right.
month. He said, yeah, I know. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's unbelievable how they operate.
yeah, yeah,
Like I told you, with the cable company
yep,
here. Was our. I mean, once I upgraded the TV,
yeah, it went
I
down.
had cable for next to nothing,
Yeah.
and I paid less than if I. I mean, it's
It's
just bizarre.
ridiculous. And you
It's
wonder.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yep.
Well,
All right.
all right. I hope this was all good information. Thank you so much, Amnon, for telling us this information because that was just really terrific.
You're
Um,
welcome.
Let me go to the next segment of our
Sure. Sure.
show, and that is of how we can stay healthy through the winter months. Now, especially when you get a little older, um, we always have a problem in the winter months. People start getting a cough. They seem like they have that cough. The winter starts, and they start getting the cough and the sniffles, and they go all winter with this. And really, until spring comes, they just sort of suffer along. The other one is we do get flu and sniffles and colds, and especially the way this weather has been in the Northeast, we go from really bitter cold to warm. Like today, it was 58 here, raining, and then tonight we have 25, and then tomorrow it's only 35. So these huge swings of temperature um, do not give you the cold, by the way. It just does not kill off the viruses and the bacteria that cause the colds. And that's when we get into, let's say, a supermarket. We all have to be out and about, shopping and doing our work and doing things. So we interact with other people, and we are in the area where other people are. And these viruses and bacteria, they spread all over. We touch things and other people have touched it, and then we get these colds. And how can we prevent that we get these colds, especially in winters like this? That's why I almost like a winter like we had last year, and my husband and everybody almost stoned me when I said that. They were like, oh no, we had such a terrible winter. It was so cold. Yeah, but you know what? Everybody was healthier because these nastiness that causes all of these colds and so on, they were killed off by the very severe cold. So this year, what you want to do is, in the old days, everybody wore gloves. Remember? If anybody of you watched Downton Abbey, you know all the ladies were always gloves. Well, two reasons. One was to keep their hands nice and young looking, because the light will age us faster, and any kind of a light. And the second one was also for any kind of a germ or any kind of a, it kept you healthier. Wearing in the wintertime gloves is a good idea. Start adopting it. Keeps your hands warm, keeps your hands younger looking, and it will also prevent, and have some cotton gloves that you can wash. And not those synthetic wools things. They are not very good, but cotton gloves. And you can have two pairs. You maybe pay a little more for these cotton gloves, but they will last you a lifetime. So have one dark, one light, so they fit to everything, and wear them. That prevents colds, believe it or not. Another one that prevents colds is glutathione. And don't buy, if you want to, can you see it here? I buy it in the liquid form.
Yeah.
And it's spelled GLUTATHIONE, glutathione. And glutathione is two things. One, it keeps our immune system healthy, because it gives the cells the ability to work better. It also is a great, great product for anything that has to do with the brain. It keeps our brain cells very healthy. Ever since I'm taking this, and I'm taking this in a big bottle like this, and I'll tell you in a minute what's all in here. This is my winter drink. All winter long, I sip this. It keeps me healthy. It keeps my skin beautiful, on top of the secret that I have, which I will tell you if you ask me. And it will help. It will help to keep your brain stimulated and good. Everybody always think, no matter if you're 30 or if you're 80, when the minute that we start being born, our cells are replicating until we are grown, which is about 18, 19, 20. Then usually the cells start to die off again. Minimal, but the faster they die off, the older we get, the faster they die off. So glutathione is what stops it somewhat. It's right now, if you research it on the internet, there's a couple companies that sell it for a lot of money, for $100 or so on. Don't do that. You can buy it from Lipoceutical, and I believe I paid $40 or something. And there's a lot of, for many months, because you only need a teaspoon of it. Okay. The other one is that you make yourself, I have, for instance, a new remedy that I make that has honey, coconut oil, it has nettle, wild ginseng, turmeric, and I make this for my clients and for anybody who wants to. Keeps the cold away, keeps aches and pains away, and it gives you energy so that you can keep going. Another thing is, do take only one bath a week. I think we have said that once before, because our pH mantle on our skin prevents bacteria and viruses to get into our system. So we want to prevent that. So we take like once a week a shower, or at the most maybe twice a week, that way. And if you do take a shower, don't use any of the perfumed soaps. Try to use a soap that is more like the basic soap. Like there's a green soap that you can buy. There is just a liquid soap, not too many fragrances in there. um, uh, will be much better served for your skin. Okay. And what I do for myself and for my husband, I make us a bottle like this. We sip it all day long. And in here is honey for our kidney, and for his prostate, I use all right, glutathione kick in, cranberry juice, ginseng, turmeric, most of what is in this bottle. I also put a little apple cider in there, and some cinnamon. Anybody who has a predisposition for diabetics has a slight imbalance, sugar imbalance, even if it's a little bit more. Try this. If you need to have the recipe for it, contact me on My Life, My Will at live.com. My Life dash My Will at live.com. I will write down the recipe for you, and you can make this yourself. It does several things. It keeps your blood sugar at a perfect level. It also helps you to keep your immune system at a perfect high level, so that it can ward off any kind of aggressions of any cold or illnesses or so on. And it will let you sleep gloriously, because I put in there the oil, or the CBD oil that I make here at my little lab, that gives your body enough help so that it will let you calm down and rest. So that is about what I would say for the winter time. You can stay really very healthy. Now, this, by the way, you can give to your pets too, and it works really well. You just use the turmeric in there, shake it up real well, take a teaspoon, mix it into the food. It works real well also for pets. Okay. And talking about pets, next week, I'm going to tell you all about pet insurance, how to set up a trust for your pet, so that if you do die or something happens to you and you cannot take care of that pet anymore, that pet will then be taken care of. Because that's one of the major things. More and more, our pets are our babies, our children, the ones that we want to take care of, and we need to also. So next week we're going to be talking about that, how we can really do right by our pets, that if we cannot take care of them, so they don't have to go into the Humane Society, or that they are lost, and that nobody is really taking care of them. And if you don't have, like, I mean, our kids, they all had us, they couldn't take care of their pets. So they moved away. They went on a year sojourn to India. Well, where do you think their pets went? To mom and dad. So if you don't have that, I'll give you the other solution of what you can do instead. If you don't have a mom and dad that will take the cat, and we've had cats, we have had dogs, we had a bird, we had it all. Kids bring him. Oh, here, I'll be back for it. Yeah, 5 years later, we still have the pet. So, but I don't complain. I love him, and I love our kids, and so it's okay. And many parents are in that same situation. So, do we have any questions?
I don't see any questions.
Any questions? Nobody. I must have been so thorough, or everybody just sort of said, we have enough of that, and went. Well, I hope that didn't happen. Please let me know if you have questions. And next week again, we have the main thrust of the show will be pets. We will be talking about pets. We will have, and if you have any questions beforehand that you would like me to answer, please, mylife-mywill@live.com, or look for mylife-mywill on Facebook. I will answer the questions at the next show, whatever your concerns are. I hope you have a terrific week. Thank you so much for listening in. I always welcome you. I always welcome any questions. Amnon, thank you so much for your contributions today.
Thank you.
That was just terrific. And I will say bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health Then with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Parent Dome with Ryan Miller, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.